still kind of searching for what we consider our identity. I could consider myself like a plastic Samoan, like full-blooded Samoan, don't know how to speak the language, but I'm just very honest about where I come from. I've grown up here in, New Zealand. I know the New Zealand customs, so how I really consider myself like a New Zealand Samoan as opposed to a full Samoan. So a lot of the works that I make, it isn't for like a strictly Samoan community. It's like, nah, I'm very specific about what I make. I'm very honest about who I am. I'm a New Zealand-born Samoan, so I make New Zealand-born Samoan stuff. Yeah, so now I'm actually making a new work it's called Atali'i or Crezent, which is pretty much like the children of the Crezent, or how I originally had it was like sons of the Crezent, which is about gentrification in South Auckland pretty much. Yeah, so they pretty much sent pamphlets saying like there's specific areas in Waimanli, which is the area that I stay in, or my parents stay in. They're gonna get developed pretty much, but none of the area knew. Like no one was told beforehand that this was a thing. And so everyone was quite scared, of like, we don't know about any development plans, and we weren't told or had the option to discuss any of these things, because I think it would have affected a lot of houses in the area, which would have meant that they'd have to move out. At this point in time, in terms of the overall scope of the work, 30-minute piece, I have no idea what it looks like or what it's gonna look like. We'll be going into Otahu College to rehearse as well. A lot of our stuff is based out south, just for the ethos of the work. It's called Atali'i or the Crezent. It's just I'll see for now. Translated is, like children of the Crezent. Crezent being Firth Crez, which is in Waimanli, pretty much my area, my street. And because it's all boys, I kind of receive it as like sons of the Crezent. So there's that whole sun and Crezent imagery, Crezent meaning change. And we kind of base the structure off of that. So we have this first 15 minutes as what I call like the sun, like the energy of the sun, and this last 15, the Crezent. The energy of South Auckland to me is very proud and it's very strong and it's very uplifting, eh? And then for me, I wanted to capture a lot of that in what I'd call like the sun phase of the work. Basically South Auckland just being South Auckland, eh? Growing up in a Hati Samoan family, I always did Pacific dance growing up, Samoan dance to be specific. And then I did a lot of street dance as I was growing up, just because it was really popular in my school. And all three of my schools as well, like Waimanli Road Primary School, Pepperstone Intermediate, and Otahu College. The one that really sparked me was Rise came out, the DVD, Rise. But I remember my brothers coming home and then they were like, yo, this stuff is cool, man. And like, they'll start crumping and that. So then I kind of mimicked them. And I remember dancing everywhere, like every lunchtime, any breaks, I'd go out and there'd be a few of us and we would just dance for like the whole time. And then from there, it carried on into intermediate. And then in intermediate, everyone was like, real serious? Like if you spark up a circle, like then everyone, the whole school will come surround you. But yeah, that's really how it was. I was just like a kid that liked to dance and I couldn't sit still. There are many moments where I was like, yep, this is what I'm gonna do. But it was almost like every year in high school, it was all for a different reason. Like, yeah, I got to a point where I was like, year 13 and everyone's thinking about what to do next. And I was like, I don't even know. I told my parents as well. I remember like, oh, I'm gonna study dance. But yeah, there was no point where I was like, yeah, I'm definitely gonna study it. I was just like, it was the only thing I could do, I think. And I'm kind of glad that that's how it turned out, because like now I'm using it really as a vessel to say, share my thoughts and my ideas and tell stories. And then when I went to University of Auckland, I had a mean journey because it changed, my idea of what contemporary dance changed like 3 times. And like, even now it's still changing. My idea of it now is just like, it definitely is anything, eh? Like, so long as the performer has an idea of, as long as the performer knows what they're doing and has a really clear intention, then any movement that person does or intends to do is contemporary dance to me. So now I just look at life like any movement is contemporary dance. And I think that's a good point. And I think as an artist, I think that's just the direction that I'm going in. Well, I'm more fascinated in it is like, it's more inwards. So like, yeah, I think I'm making a lot around the fear of losing stuff. I think I'm just, and I tell people this, like I always make on the stuff that I'm afraid of. So like, yeah, I'm afraid of losing the language in me, as well as the house that I grew up in and the memories that are stored there. Yeah.